Hi, my name is Rita Jansen and I'm the physiotherapist that's part of the Seating Mobility Clinic here at St. Amant. I work with an occupational therapist as well. Her name is Marla Lulashnik. So during our assessment, we use this pressure mapping system to map out where the pressure is under a person on their cushion and their backrest as well while they're sitting in their wheelchair. So right now I'm sitting on the sensor mat, and it has sensors all along the surface that pick up the pressure throughout it. And they transmit it to the computer here onto the program. And the brand name that we're using is called BodyTrack. So this is actually pretty new to us. We had a different system previously and we got this one last year. So we're pretty excited to start using it again in 2021 with our new assessments. So when you're reading the pressure mapping, we have two different images going on here. So on this side, we have the 2D image of the mat, and on this side we have the 3D image of the mat, of the pressures. So when explaining this to a family, we have them look at the image and we explain the amount of pressure, which is measured in millimeters of mercury, through the colors because it's easier to understand. So when you see the really light blue to a darker blue color, that's contact, but it's not a very high amount of contact. It's just contacting the surface, but not a lot of pressure. Once you start to go into the greens, that is a fair amount of pressure, and there is definitely loading going through the tissues at that point. Once you start to see the colors of yellow, orange, and especially red being the most intense amount of pressure, then we want to look at where those areas correspond to on the body to figure out if they're areas of concern or if they're artifacts. Sometimes it could be something like wrinkled clothes or buttons on pants, and so we just want to check those out. So right now, if you look at the pressure mapping system, if I were to posteriorly tilt my pelvis, you can see how up at the top here, which this is my right leg and this is my left leg, and this would be my buttock, and then down my leg, and left buttock, and down my leg. When I posteriorly rotate, you can see how the colors right away shoot up to the yellow, orange, and red. And so since I'm sitting on a chair that has no cushioning on it at all, you can see that I would be at risk of skin breakdown fairly quickly if I wasn't moving out of this position. However, if I shift my weight forward, you can see the colors change, and there now is less concern at the back, although there is still some red. However, now you can see that the red has shifted forward, and it's in a more concentrated area of space. So as we know, pressure cannot be taken away, it can only be redistributed. So it still has to stay in the same amount of contact, but now it's on areas that aren't as bony, so it's more like my distal thighs right now.